Alright, so since I'd previously done a comparison of the Cal G Series trigger and the AAC AAP01 trigger, I thought I'd go on and do another comparison here between the Cal AAC trigger and the newly released TTI AAP01 trigger. So let me zoom in here a bit and show you exactly what an adjustable trigger is for the AAP01. Let me take this off without taking off my flashlight here. There we go. Simply put, an adjustable trigger is a trigger that you can put in and replace your stock trigger. And then it has one important little change here, which is that it has over here, as you can see, a grub screw. And what that grub screw does is you can screw it in and out, and it will adjust the angle to which the trigger can go because it will be pressing up against the trigger bar here. So it effectively lets you get a adjustable, and if you want to, very short trigger pull. So previously I had done a comparison of the AAC AAP01 trigger, which had just come out. Now I want to compare this to the new released TTI AAP01 trigger. This also has the same, hopefully you can see because it's black on black here. Yeah, you can see fairly well. This also has the same mechanism, adjust the trigger pull by using a grub screw. However, what this also has is this one has down here at the bottom, again, this one also has this right here. An adjustable over travel screw. An over travel screw, for those who aren't familiar, is just a little screw that you can take and it affects how far the trigger goes back this way. So you see here, this is not cocked back here, so there's just kind of the free travel of the trigger between how much is allowed to travel forward with this and how much is allowed to travel back with the over travel screw. You can see you don't get much. You get like 2 millimeters maybe of travel. It's not much. Whereas without an over travel screw, you do have more. This is actually noticeably more over travel there. Now both of these, they're adjustable for the initial take up, which means that the initial take up will be nice and crisp and clean. But then this one, and potentially if you want to fire really quickly on semi-auto, means that you can actually potentially pull a bit faster here because you're not going to be wasting as much time bringing your finger back. And it kind of gets to be, when it's properly dialed in, it's sort of just, you're giving a quick press and it's shooting. Just like this. You see, I'm gonna pull it and hold it. It's quite nice. So the other aspect of the TTI trigger is that it doesn't have the sort of faux, if you will, trigger safety. I call them faux grip safeties because, I mean, it's not grip safeties, but trigger safeties. Because if you're dialing them in to have short pull, they're actually not going to function on any model that I'm aware of. So it's there, it's not actually functional. It will be functional if you have it much more forward, so you have it more like how far the travel of the stock trigger is, then it will function. Otherwise, however, it's not going to function. So overall, right now, I would say that the best aftermarket trigger on the market is this TTI AAP01 trigger at the moment. Simply because it doesn't have the trigger safety, which doesn't really serve a function, especially if you're going to be adjusting it to have a very short trigger pull. And then it also has a nice over travel screw there, which means you can really dial it in and get probably the best trigger pull you can have right now in the AAP01.